This is Plant-Based Briefing. There is no safe amount of processed meat. New York City schools ban processed meat. And you can't contest it. Hot dogs are hazardous for your health. From the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine at pcrm.org. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson, and this is the curated content plant-based podcast where I narrate articles with permission on a variety of plant-based and vegan topics in about 10 minutes every weekday. Today's articles are short, so I'm combining 3 into the one episode, but they're all related to today being National Hot Dog Day, which, as you'll hear, is kind of bizarre given that hot dogs and processed meats are classified as carcinogens in the same category as cigarettes or asbestos. Anyway, today's posts are from the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, or PCRM. They're a nonprofit organization founded by Dr. Neal Barnard, and they combine the clout and expertise of more than 12,000 physicians, dietitians, and scientists, and they have almost 200,000 members worldwide. They're basically changing the way doctors treat chronic diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and cancer by putting prevention over pills and empowering patients to take control of their own health. And since 1985, they've been working for alternatives to the use of animals in medical education and research and for more effective scientific methods. So now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. There is no safe amount of processed meat. New York City schools ban processed meat. And you can't contest it. Hot dogs are hazardous for your health. From the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine at pcrm.org. There is no safe amount of processed meat. Processed meat, from hot dogs to bacon, increases the risk of colorectal cancer, cardiovascular disease, and even early death. The World Health Organization has determined that processed meat is a major contributor to colorectal cancer, classifying it as, quote, carcinogenic to humans, unquote. Just one hot dog or a few strips of bacon consumed daily increases cancer risk by 18%. The World Cancer Research Fund and the American Institute for Cancer Research have also found that the evidence on processed meat and cancer is clear-cut. Quote, processed meat refers to meat that has been transformed through salting, curing, fermentation, smoking, or other processes to enhance flavor or improve preservation. Most processed meats contain pork or beef, but processed meats may also contain other red meats, poultry, offal, or meat byproducts such as blood. Examples of processed meat include hot dogs or frankfurters, ham, sausages, corned beef, and biltong or beef jerky, as well as canned meat and meat-based preparations and sauces, unquote, from the World Health Organization. Colorectal cancer isn't the only cancer risk that comes from consuming processed meat. Eating 50 grams of processed meat daily also increases the risk of prostate cancer, pancreatic cancer, and overall cancer mortality. And a study of more than 200,000 women found that eating about 20 grams of processed meat each day, less than half the size of a regular hot dog, increased breast cancer risk by 21%. Those who consume the most processed meat also have an increased risk of death from cardiovascular disease, according to a National Institutes of Health study of more than 500,000 people. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association found that processed meat consumption was tied to 57,776 deaths from cardiometabolic diseases in 2012. New York City schools ban processed meat. Hot dogs, pepperoni, and other cancer-causing processed meats are officially off the menu at New York City public schools. New York City Council recently passed Resolution 238, calling upon the Department of Education to eliminate processed meats in public schools. Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams and Council member Fernando Cabrera introduced the resolution in 2018. We cannot continue feeding our children substances that are scientifically proven to increase their chances of cancer later in life, said Borough President Adams, who reversed his type 2 diabetes by adopting a plant-based diet in 2016. The landmark resolution cited a 2015 report from the World Health Organization that declared processed meat, including hot dogs, pepperoni, bacon, sausage, and deli meat, carcinogenic to humans. Studies show that just one hot dog or 2 strips of bacon per day can increase the risk of colorectal cancer by 18%. In recent years, colorectal cancer rates have been steadily rising in young people. I know from my own experience with being diagnosed as a type 2 diabetic that it is so important to take ownership of your health and take control of what you eat, added President Adams. We must feed our kids nutritious meals that will nourish their bodies and help them perform better academically. Kids want to be healthy and strong, so let's help them get there by feeding them healthy meals. By adopting the resolution, New York City continues to lead the way in serving healthy school food. The district currently offers daily plant-based meals to every student, participates in Meatless Mondays, and is home to several fully vegetarian schools. You can't contest it. Hot dogs are hazardous for your health. Nathan's famous hot dog eating contest returns Sunday, July 4th, when participants will gorge on hot dogs, a processed meat that increases the risk of colorectal cancer, cardiovascular disease, and even early death. Joey Chestnut, who set a world record in last year's contest after eating 75 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes, will return but isn't the only one binging on hot dogs. Hot dog sales were up almost 20% during the pandemic, according to the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, and Americans will eat an estimated 7 billion hot dogs between Memorial Day and Labor Day. It's a dangerous trend. The World Health Organization has determined that processed meat is a major contributor to colorectal cancer, classifying it as carcinogenic to humans. Just 50 grams, about one hot dog, consumed daily increases colorectal cancer risk by 18%. Colorectal cancer is the third leading cause of cancer death for both men and women, with an estimated 52,980 persons in the United States projected to die of colorectal cancer in 2021, according to the U.S. Preventive Services Task Force, which recommended earlier this year that screening for colorectal cancer begin at age 45 instead of 50, noting incidence of colorectal cancer in adults aged 40 to 49 years has increased by almost 15% from 2002 to 2016. Hot dogs and other processed meat are also linked to cardiovascular disease and death, according to a recent study. Researchers reviewed food intake records from more than 100,000 participants in the Prospective Urban-Rural Epidemiology, or PURE, study, and compared heart disease and mortality with meat consumption. Those who ate more than 150 grams of processed meat per week increased their risk of heart disease and death by 46% and 51% respectively, when compared to those who did not eat processed meat. So ditch the hot dog for a carrot dog this 4th of July, or try a portobello burger. Research shows that replacing a daily serving of red or processed meat with one serving of mushrooms lowers the risk of dying from any cause. And Nathan's customers can now opt for a vegan hot dog at several of the restaurant's New York locations, including Coney Island. You just listened to There is no safe amount of processed meat, New York City schools ban processed meat, and You can't contest it, hot dogs are hazardous for your health, by Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine at pcrm.org. This is all in honor of today being National Hot Dog Day, and I'm your host, Marian Erickson. Please share this podcast with others who may benefit, and thanks for listening.